Holy cow! You got the noises and everything, Tony. Good job.
That's right. Welcome back to Geekshow Helpdesk.
And arcade.
And arcade today. Yep,
Double
we're doing a
feature.
combined episode because we've been just all over the place at CES the last couple days, and we have everything mishmashed in our head.
Which, Wellevue mishmash, which means we're gonna have it in between. Chepes.
Yep, so we're just doing one solid episode covering CES 2025, coming at you live. 3 of us from Las Vegas.
I wish I was there.
One
We
of
miss
us
you,
from
Orlando.
Utah still.
We would have
Yeah.
needed a bigger car if you came.
That's true. We barely had enough room for
And I'm a small person.
recording
Yeah,
equipment
you were.
and everyone's crap and all that stuff.
I
But
packed the least, so
here we are. Okay, this is the Geek Show Helpdesk / arcade today, where we talk about tech, gadgets, and video games. Well, I
does that
haven't
feel
said
weird?
that
Does
in
that
a
feel
while.
weird to say that?
Yeah.
all at
Yeah,
once?
that
been a
feels weird
minute.
for me.
Ooh,
But you're dressed the best, Owen.
it's been a minute. Yeah, look at this guy.
Look at
Decided
this
to
guy.
wear a button up. Let's go ahead and introduce our panelists. He's wearing a button up today. He's Owen.
I'm fancy. Yeah,
You're a
I'm
fancy boy.
I'm fancy boy. Yeah, you know what? Here's a couple things. First of all, Lang, screw you. I'm on Blue Sky, and I know your little monthly tracking thing that you've been doing. I replied. Follow me
Only
there.
because we told you to check it,
Yeah, we did.
and I forced you to look at notifications.
Yeah.
Because I was right by you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
follow
Full
me
disclosure.
there. Follow me there. It's technoan at bluesky dot whatever that is. And here. Follow me here.
Yeah,
That's it.
sure. Why not? All right. It's Jaron.
Hi, I'm Little Sprinkle. Jaron. Sorry. You guys made me think my name changed. You can find me on Blue Sky at Geronius and Geek Show Helpdesk and Arcade. It's been a fun time here.
Has it with your medical issue? I mean, Jaren's had
Hey.
a lot of firsts here.
HIPAA, dude. HIPAA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaren's had I'm
if-
just saying,
if
Jaren's had a
we
lot
had
of
an
firsts here we
in-between-
got to talk about, right?
I've
That would-
had a medical issue. I've had work issues.
Yeah. We'll save it for the in between next week. We'll talk about it then.
Oh,
That's in between content.
all right.
Yep. And don't forget about Lando down there.
Yeah, it's Lando. I did not get to go with them. I had work conflicts, first day of school, blah blah blah, whatever. It sucks. I wish I was there, and I'm here. But I'm very happy that they're there, and I'm glad they're having a good time. I
And
know
kids
they
are
got
back
all
in
wet and
school.
bothered watching the NVIDIA keynote. They sent pictures. It was a whole thing.
We waited in
Jared
line
wet his
4
pants.
hours for that freaking keynote.
Yep.
And it was like an hour and a half there. My butt was so sore at the end.
No one cares. No one cares,
I can't,
Jared.
let me point this
Hey,
out.
this is
After we-
my.
After we introduce our host, his
That's-
name's Tony.
Oh, you just took the job from Lando.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
I see how it is.
Hey,
I'm
quad
not
T
there.
right here.
I'm not special. It's fine. I get it.
Yep.
I'm the third class, fourth class citizen on the show. I'm just gonna shut my trap.
You might want to go a little lower. But yeah, this is
That's
Quad,
ambitious.
check me out at Blue Sky at Quad T or on the other Geek Show stuff. Okay.
Go pout in the corner. You guys suck.
So how is that any different than normal?
Hey. You guys just pick on me the whole time I'm not there, don't you?
No.
No, we don't even remember.
We save
you-
all this
you
up.
were alive.
We
That's
save all this
worse,
stuff up.
actually.
Yeah,
I
we
was
save
gonna
all
say.
this up for you, dude.
No, it's like when the Scarlet Witch gets really mad at Thanos in Endgame. You ruined my life, and he just looks at her and says, "I don't even know who you are."
Yep.
That's you.
That hurts. That
She
hurts.
can't.
No, we-
She almost destroys him, though. To
She
be
did.
fair,
She gave him a run for his
like
money.
he had to call down the rain because of her.
We had a whole conversation, Lando adjacent conversation at once.
We did.
I don't know. I'm trying to make him feel good.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
it
you,
working?
Jared.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's see. First things first. Do we have any
I
emails?
have lots of emails.
We do. I think.
Jaron,
Oh, we're doing emails today.
do we
Yeah.
have any emails?
I am
Yeah, pretty sure.
woefully underprepared for that.
I can read some emails. I have them. I'm
pretty-
prepared.
Lando's the email guy today.
I think.
Totally planned,
Yeah.
just as I had planned it.
I see.
All right. So we'll save some of these for next week. But I'm going to hit some highlights. We got an email here from one of our good friends, Mishmash. Dear Helpdesk / Arcade, once again, I have a few thoughts that have been piling up that I'd like to share. One day, you might start screening these emails and ignoring this kind of trash. But until then, yay for me.
Today is
First.
not that
I
day.
don't think
No.
we'll ever reach that day.
First, I want to say a big welcome to Amanda, the Pokemon correspondent. since at least 2017. I've always welcome. However, oh sorry,
Do you need help, Lando?
What?
I did not. Well, there's no line breaks, and they're all really close together, and I need to make the.
Are you looking at it on Slack and not?
I
on
am.
Actual, yeah, that's why.
It's too wide. I can't.
Jaron, did
no.
you
But
open it up
no,
on
I got this. I got
I
this.
didn't think
Tony,
I had to, but now
I
I'm
got
going
it.
to.
I got it. No. I got it. I got it. Stop. I got this.
Lando's
Welcome.
always
However,
the
I
one
must
that-
dispute the repeated claims that she is your only female listener. There may be few of us, but I've been around since at least 2017, and I've always had
Alright.
any, as far as I am aware.
I-
Second, the nickname of the listeners who write in and contribute on Patreon sounds so much like pro wrestler / luchador names. I propose you conduct another bracket style competition. Wait for that one. If you're not subscribed to the in between, just you wait. To determine the best nicknames, we must have a winner. Third, to Chris from across the pond. If you tell the panelists outright that your email content doesn't need to be read on that podcast, they won't read it at all. It will be lost to time, and any questions you ask will be ignored forevermore. Finally, lame done. Stop complaining when the episode is long. Your lives and families don't exist in the sound space between my earbuds. Podcasts help me get through the mundane tasks and horrors of everyday existence. I know
See?
that feeling for sure.
See, Lando, quit complaining.
The longer they are, the more dishes, laundry, and exercises, maybe, get done. Let Jaron share all the stories he wants.
Yes.
I'd also like to remind you of the many uncanny similarities of Landon's voice to the infamous
Infamous.
Superdale Shanzi, and therefore
Oh.
propose a new nickname to be used when he gets overexcited. Landell. Keep up the good work and make
Landell.
the episodes as long as you want. Thanks, Mishmash.
Hey,
Thanks,
Lando,
Mishmash.
Lando, could you say this for me? Ha ha, I kicked an owl. Can you say that real
No,
quick?
100% I will not say that.
Oh, okay. I just really was hoping for that soundbite.
We'll save this one for next week. I have a question about Bluetooth headphones from Jarrett Greenwood, but we will wait, Jarrett, on yours.
I got this next one. I have it up.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. We got an email from someone named James Jensen.
Who's that?
Oh,
Yeah, that guy.
Hey, James.
I wish I knew him better.
Me too.
He says,
I seem to. Wait. What is it? Obi-Wan says. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Very good.
that's right. He says, this message was sent from my iPhone. Just a heads up. Dear illustrious panelists, long time, first time writing in. And I have a very serious question that has been burning in my bosom for quite some time. You see, we live in an age where there are two opposing forces fighting against each other, and we, as the common man, are left behind to pay the ultimate price. Who are the two opposing forces, you may ask? Wire and wireless peripherals for our electronic devices. Now to my question. I have a lot of cords at my house. Some are USB to USB-C. Some are USB to micro USB. How can I tell if a cord is meant for data or strictly for charging? Is there a website I can go to that just lets me plug it in and can tell me? Or is there a physical device that I can get that would tell me?
That's a good
I'm well
idea.
aware that some USBs are color-coded to help. However, we live in a capitalist country where it is a race to the bottom of the barrel for shipping add-ons for electronics, and if a corporation can cut a corner and get a cheap cord that does the bare minimum for the consumer, you better believe that. That is going to be what ships in the box. This leaves me with an amazing amount of extra cords at my house. And I need to sort out what is meant for what. By the way, if you're reading this and wondering why it is worded like this, try living in this brain. I swear one of the worst things about having ADD is it is like I'm constantly playing hide and seek against myself with words, situations, and physical items. And I am at both times winning and losing. Please say hi to Jaron and Owen for me. James, you spelled my name wrong. How long have you known me? All right, anyway, going on. Owen is eating enough, right?
Yeah, buddy.
He sure is.
Yeah, bud.
We need him well nourished for the future. Remember, Landon.
right.
Hello, Tony. Smiley face. Much love and thank you for the podcast, James.
I just realized looking at the video that the audio is slightly out of sync for us. Oh, no, for Owen and Jared.
That's okay.
Sorry, guys on YouTube. That's what you get this time.
Oh, no.
It's just barely. It's like it's like a quarter of a second off.
It's fine. It's
Actually,
fine.
it might just be Jaren's. Anyway, moving along. The answer to your question, unfortunately, James, is no, there is not.
There is a device you can test.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, it's just put your phone in and see if it does
Oh,
data or
yeah,
power.
yeah. Yeah,
I
right.
hate that.
If you plug it in and it does. Here's
It won't tell you
here's-
how fast the data is.
Here's
though.
my
It'll
rule.
Tell
No,
you
you can't
copy
te-
something.
Yeah, he didn't ask about speed, so we're gonna set that off because that's a whole different thing. But if you plug it in, here's my rule: if it's thin, If it's thin, it's usually just power.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a fairly good rule.
If the actual cable's thin, it'll usually just do power.
I wonder
I
if we could invent
totally
an
disagree with
invention of
that.
test
Really?
cables.
Oh yeah.
No.
No, like my Apple's USB-C cables that they used to ship, they were crazy thin, and
No.
they
round.
weren't fast USB-C
Well, yeah,
cables,
they
but
only did
but they
480,
did
480 meg.
They did data and power.
But
Barely.
the rule is that may be the exception that proves the rule, or the exception to the rule. But the rule is that if it's a thin cable and there's only 2 wires inside, it's gonna be charging only.
Yeah, the other thing, by 2 wires, you mean if you're looking at a USB and
I'm just saying, if you look at it, you're like, oh, that's probably 2.
So,
12,
guys, we're
30,
talking about James here. Do you think he really understands the difference between 2 wires
Yeah.
versus more?
there,
He
there
does.
might-
That's why I
Hey,
said
hey,
thinner, thinner thick, James.
We're
thinner
not
thick.
we're not mean to the people that email us.
Here's-
Yeah.
Just James. I have
No,
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 I can,
no.
that's the thing. If
No.
he used this medium to communicate with us more, we're nice.
That's true, James. I apologize.
There actually might be a device out there that you can get that I'm trying to think of. I swear I saw one
Google
once.
food time.
Yeah, I'll bet there's stuff out there, but is that cost going to be worth just buying new cables? Because here's what it's come down to for me. I have boatloads of cables lying around, or in my closet, from old devices and things like that. And basically, it's come to the point now where I've thrown a lot of those away because I don't trust them. And so when I buy a cable, I just make sure and I buy from a reliable brand, and I look at the specs when I buy it. I
An
just
Amazon
went the other
reseller,
day-
like a normal person.
Yeah, I just went the other day and I bought 3 new USB-C to USB-C cables, and I made sure they could do 240-watt charging and at least 10 gigabit per second
Yeah.
data transfer.
I bought a 20 gigabit per second, 100 watt, left it in my travel backpack,
Yep. So
like 10 feet too.
there you go.
There is a device.
I could have sworn I remembered seeing one.
Check that out. You just,
Yeah.
you just.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
she's sharing with
You
the
just-
with the with
you
the
just-
people in person, and
Yeah,
I'm just
look at that.
excluded.
What
There's a
what is it
device.
called?
It's called a Finry something.
For Nursey USB tester.
Yeah.
You should send
it's
the link
fi-
to James. He'd
But it's like
appreciate that.
$60. So it's
He'd
like,
buy
is
it.
it worth
He would
is it wor-
100% buy it.
It
Is
de-
$60
I think
worth it?
I think it is to James because he has so many cables. Like if you're just telling him to rebuy cables, that's a lot. He would have to rebuy, so he wants to test and
I'm
see
sure
which
he
ones.
wants to test.
Out of that pile of cables, do you think he actually needs
He'll probably
80%
find
of
4.
those?
He'll probably find 4 or 5.
Yeah.
We'll give it
whatever.
out of 20. That's a
That's a
not
win.
great odds. But
You've got some options. There you go.
there you go, James.
Thanks for writing in, buddy. Miss ya. Any other emails?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, we're going to call it there. All right, let's lead off with the biggest announcement, obviously, was the NVIDIA 50 series.
Big numbers go fast, yo.
Oh man.
Not just that.
It was actually not just that.
like
We
the,
were-
the graphics card itself.
Oh,
was
the
actually
robot
the-
uprising! You must talk about the robot uprising. The
it was the
moment where all the
Blackwell
robots
line.
come
It
on
was
stage
the-
to take over the world.
We were so excited for this. We got there at 2:40. The keynote didn't start till 6:40.
And it was supposed to start at 6:20.
Yeah.
So it was 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
So yeah, we waited like 4+ hours.
I learned something about Jaron. He can't sit crisscross.
No, he can't
Nope.
sit crisscross applesauce.
I did not know. He's for being so small.
I
I thought he was flexible. He's
no, 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 no,
inflexible.
no, 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 no. The bigger you are, the more flexible you have to be.
That's incorrect.
That is 100% correct.
Shorter people are on average more flexible than tall people.
Yeah.
And
Short
if
people
you
ain't
look like
got
a Sasquatch, you get interviewed by the Taiwanese news.
That was freaking rad because we were going to photobomb that, and then they turned and asked Tony, "Hey, can we
Hey,
interview
can we
you?"
interview you for the SET iNews in Taiwan?
And then plot twist,
Sure.
they didn't even use that interview.
Because they were
But-
too frightened by him.
I think it's
Yeah,
because their
look at him.
cameraman was so short that
He
they
was very
realized.
threatening.
So I think it was because their cameraman was so short that when they looked at the footage, they're like, "Oh, we're just looking straight up his nose."
I think that's what it was. Yeah, they saw the camera angle when they were going through to edit, and they're like, "Nah, we're not going to do that." We don't-
But on the highlight, me and Jaron
Yeah.
were in
Oh,
a
yeah.
you
shot.
guys made it in the
We
background.
were in a shot of him doing the interview. We put that in the old Discord
Yeah.
Patreon.
So the 5000 series was announced along with full specs, pricing, etc. And it was actually only half the announcement because the other half was that
It was a-
DLSS 4
Oh yeah.
is
Yeah.
is there, and many of the best pieces of DLSS4 are actually going to be backwards compatible with all the RTX cards, 2000 series, 3000 series, 4000 series as well. The only
And-
piece that doesn't work on the older stuff is multiple frame generation. That is a 5000 series exclusive.
And when they showed the pricing slide, there was an audible gasp in the audience by one person.
By Jaren, because at first they showed a pricing slide for the 4090 saying $15.99, and Jaren thought that was the new one for $15.99.
And it was pure silence, and everyone heard a.
He goes, oh, and I look, no, Jaren, that's the 4090.
Yeah.
And Tony basically yelled that extremely loud. Everyone was quiet, even Jensen. And Tony's like, "No, Jared, that was the 4090."
I wish I would
so
have
great.
been that loud.
No, it was that loud.
There was probably 4 people that witnessed that behind us that I am so glad they did.
You
So they basically showed those off, and the pricing is insane, but not as insane as I was afraid it would be.
much better at the low end,
Yes,
worse on the high end.
Yeah,
which
so-
makes sense, unfortunately, for me.
I know.
Yeah.
The Halo series, the Halo product, the 5090 is going to be $19.99, starting at $19.99, and so your other board partners, Asus, MSI, everything, they're probably going to start more like 2050 or 2100, but when you look at it on paper, it is roughly 50% more powerful than the 5080. So I don't know, if they use that to if that's commensurate to the price or what.
You also get double the VRAM,
You get
Well,
32 gigabytes of VRAM on this beast.
which is nuts.
They said that the 5070, that's the lowest one in the tier, that would perform at 4090 speed.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah,
the-
there's
for
some
how much
trickery.
too? For like $500. That thing was a
500
steal.
Five- 550.
$549,
Yeah, that was a steal of a deal. That's like
550.
Lando pricing.
So the question is though, will it work at 4090 levels before all of the DLSS4 stuff that they trotted
Right.
out?
If you
I would
So
be shocked
in
if
the
it did.
the
I
Linus
would as
Tech Tips
well.
video
so
I
if you try and
watched.
put on 4090.
Oh, Lano's got something important to say.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel so special.
I don't know what
and
to do in
fuzzy.
this situation.
I'm gonna be quiet.
I'm talking about video cards, like with real comments to make. This is
I know.
bonkers.
I'm excited.
This is weird.
So they did NVIDIA invited him backstage in one of the hotel rooms, right, where they did a comparison of the 4090 versus the 5090, and it was pretty
The
impressive
5090
difference.
or the 5070?
5090,
Oh, okay.
the flagship
big-
versus the old flagship,
Big
yeah.
versus big. Yeah.
And he's like, "Is it good? Yeah, but if I bring in my mother-in-law or my sister or whoever, right?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
for-
This is for people like Jared and
It's
Tony.
for your pixel peepers
These
for
are
sure.
for enthusiasts.
Enthusiast.
But I was
level.
most excited about the pricing of the 5070.
70,
Yeah.
yeah. 549, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
the one
fantastic.
I'm
And the
saying.
5080 came down $200 from
Yeah.
1200 to 1000.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what they needed to do on the mid range and low end.
So the DLSS4 stuff is really interesting because not only did they add multiple frame generation, so as it stands with DLSS3, you get one generated frame for every one raw constructed frame, like traditionally rendered frame. But now with DLSS4 and a 50 series graphics card, you can have up to 3 generated frames with a negligible amount of input latency. They've done a lot of work with that. They've completely redone how DLSS works, basically, for DLSS4. And also, as a knock-on effect to that, DLSS4 single frame gen and the reconstruction is better and uses less resources than DLSS3 or 2.
Did you see the stuff on NVIDIA Reflex 2?
I didn't.
That is fascinating. They are guessing future frames and will adjust the camera to that guess.
What?
Based on AI, right?
Based on AI,
Yeah.
and it will reduce the latency by half from what it was before.
Wow.
Going from like 25 milliseconds with NVIDIA Reflex 1 down to like 12 and a half with NVIDIA Reflex 2. and
That's crazy.
it's absolutely nuts. And so they guess where the frame will be, but then it will introduce a bunch of artifacts because the game isn't guessing. The graphics card is guessing, and then they use AI to fill in like the edges where the camera wouldn't have been naturally.
Right. To true up its guess.
Yeah.
That is wild. It's going to be really interesting, and the fact that the better quality DLSS, better looking DLSS, better performing DLSS is going to work on the 2000, 3000, and 4000 series cards is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty dang cool.
There's also tech that uses AI to upscale textures.
Yep.
And so you can get like a 15 megabyte texture, which is honestly kind of small nowadays. And they upscale it to make it look much, much higher of a texture.
It's like a 64 megabyte texture is what they upscaled it to, or something like
Yeah.
that. Anyway, it's really impressive stuff. At least in the show, in the demos, you know.
Yeah.
When the rubber meets the road after the launch, that's when we'll know for sure.
When
that
the
this
rubber
stuff-
meets the road in 4 to 5 years, when it's finally proliferated.
Well,
through
no.
games.
Here's the thing: DLSS 4 will be supported on 75 games at launch.
Well, I mean the texture thing
oh
specifically.
yeah, the texture thing,
Yeah.
for sure. So yeah, really, really interesting stuff. I'm very excited to see how those things play out. And then the rest of the keynote for NVIDIA was basically all about their enterprise AI computational stuff.
Tell me
AI,
about the
which
robots.
is the buzzword of CES.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything says AI.
That NVIDIA stuff,
Everything.
that NVIDIA stuff for their enterprise was pretty dang cool. How they're
It
making the
was.
world foundation map.
What,
Yeah.
what I would say about NVIDIA's talk on AI, comparing to everyone else, they actually showed what AI could do for you,
Right.
whereas Samsung's keynote, they mentioned AI in every freaking little thing with no context.
Everybody
It doesn't
did.
make sense. Use
Everybody
AI
did.
in your washing machine.
Yeah.
What the crap does that mean,
Yeah,
Samsung?
exactly. So here's one of the things, and this just made me shake my head. Samsung, right? So they trot out this all-in-one washer dryer combo, which is those have been around forever, right? They're just not very popular in the U.S. So they say you just put your clothes in and set it to go, and you can go off and watch Netflix or whatever.
Yeah,
for a
that's how
couple
washers
hours.
have worked for decades.
Yep,
That's
for a
what I
couple
do.
of hours while it does its thing, and then you get a notification when your clothes are done.
That way you don't have to get up and do anything.
And it's like, so that's how washer dryer combos have, I think, always worked. But either way, the next thing, the very next thing, almost in the same breath, she says, also on this washer dryer, there's a 7-inch screen, so that while you're doing things, you could be playing games or watching videos or something like that. And I'm just
Hunched
like-
over on your washer.
And I'm just like, didn't you just get done saying all you have to do is throw your clothes in and then go watch your TV?
Maybe
Why
some
would you
people
want
fold-
to interact
maybe-
with your
Maybe some people fold their laundry
in
the
front of the
washer.
washing machine?
Yeah, in the
I
most
don't know.
uncomfortable place.
Maybe
so,
she
like,
does it.
It
Maybe
just
just
felt
her.
so all over the
The-
place.
Tangent from Nvidia, of course, but Samsung's keynote was a freaking disaster. None of it made sense. It was just buzzwords,
And their booth felt the same way.
with
Yeah,
products
exactly.
that don't need AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They just have to say it though.
Yeah.
Everybody has some sort of AI branding in their stuff, so all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was the majority of what we spent our time doing yesterday.
That was your first day?
standing in line for NVIDIA and catching the last half of Samsung and just going, what are they even doing?
Well, the NVIDIA AI stuff was super interesting. They
Yeah.
talked about how.
They came out with a new chip, the new car chip, robot.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But like they talked about how AI will aid in the training of full self-driving.
Yeah.
With Tesla, they've used footage in their fleet of cars that's out on the road currently. And it's got a way to go. It's good for most cases, but in special cases, it struggles. How NVIDIA is going about it is they are using, do they call it Cosmos?
I think
Omniverse?
Omniverse. They use Omniverse, which is their tool to create 3D environments, and you can use that for many different things. But anyway, through Omniverse, they create a digital twin. That's
what they call it.
That's the
bu-
new industry term.
yeah, that's the buzzword now, to basically create millions of different situations that the AI can learn from which is in a simulated environment rather than the real world. And so they have like real footage of a road, and with Omniverse, they create many different scenarios on that same road. They'll like put in traffic cones, someone walking across the street, police officers being there, and they iterate on this using AI to train their AI to be able to improve it for real life situations. And they're using this digital twin scenario for all the different AI possibilities out there, for training robots, for using AI in warehouses, everything.
Jensen said, in the future, every warehouse will have a digital twin to help those robots train and specifically have your own personalized robotic fleet, right? And if a pallet needs to move or some shelves need to move, it's really easy to retrain that AI. And I love that Jensen, like that NVIDIA came out and said, these are a bunch of different AI models that all work together to train AI itself. Instead of having to use real world data, which is super expensive, super unpredictable.
And then for that, they'll sell you
Yeah.
a big 1 rack server.
1 ton.
It's a 1.5 tons. It's a full rack, but it's a supercomputer in a full rack.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Dude.
It's crazy. And it's
Okay, so hold on. I want to know more about CES at large, right? So you guys are there. Yesterday was Monday. When does the show floor open?
Today.
So it opened today for the press only, or for public today?
For everyone, yeah.
What?
They
Oh,
didn't have-
that was Monday press day.
Monday and Sunday were press day, and that was a lot of conferences. And they had one area that was like the press schmoozing event
the
for
unveiling thing.
Yeah, the unveiling, and that was.
It was weak sauce.
So have you guys spent any time on the floor yet?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we walked
all
the
day.
floor like all day today.
Are you guys going to be
feet
doing
hurt.
that again tomorrow?
So today we hit the Las Vegas Convention Center area. There's 3 wings, 13,000
Huge.
steps,
Huge.
Yeah.
and
You,
we
you
did
guys
the
could
condensed
walk around the
version.
entire time and still not see everything.
Yeah,
we skipped a ton.
stuff that we didn't
get
care
through.
about,
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we're going to go to, I think it's the Venetian, where they have the their expo center in the Venetian.
Right.
And there's a whole other big
Right.
convention center.
Yeah. So
area
when
there.
I went to CES a number of years back, and it was like middle 2000s the last time I went. But one of my favorite things to do was walk around the show floor, but walk around the edges of the show floor, because like the way it was when I was there is all the big people like Intel, Nvidia, Microsoft, Samsung, LG, blah blah blah, had the giant booths in the middle, but then all the really smaller people had the small booths around the outside. And I would love to go around the small outside and like find the like fun little tech gadgets that like no one knew about.
I think
The
he
China
said-
wing was also my favorite.
I think he said NVIDIA, but isn't it NVIDIA?
Oh,
You want to talk about that guy,
So-
the head of
so-
CES?
first of all, it doesn't really, unfortunately, it's not set up as much like that anymore, Orlando. It's
Yeah.
all just kind of everyone's trying to outshow everyone else, and
Well, that's how it always is, right?
But they put all the smaller stuff in the West. Was it the West Hall?
Yeah. Remember the small ones we saw, and we're like looking over, like, oh, nobody's going over
Yeah,
there.
nobody's
The small
going
ones are
over there
fun.
all
You can
day, I
talk
bet.
to the people and like get to know them. And
Yeah,
So-
like the medium-sized companies and the smaller companies, they have the more interesting booths.
It's true.
The huge companies, like the worst booths I've been at the entire day were Samsung and Sony.
Yeah.
oh
They
yeah,
don't
Like-
want to do it this way anymore.
They didn't show any products.
Nothing new.
It was the Samsung Smart Things experience, and they just had a bunch of walls with text telling you how they want it to be.
it was like a museum almost, not a.
Yeah,
More like, yeah.
And Sony's, it was slightly better. There were like a few products you could look at, but it's just this huge empty area where no one is because there's nothing to look at.
The only big company that still does it right is probably LG.
Yeah.
The LG bought a booth. Was
Panasonic
massive,
was pretty cool
and
today with a live rave going
So
on.
Panasonic, yeah, LG's was pretty good, and it usually is. But Panasonic today was interesting
It was
because
bougie. They had Steve Aoki
they
playing
had we watched Steve Aoki DJ some songs.
in
Nice.
the loudest speakers I've heard in my life.
That's
And a mister? What were the misters for?
Oh, that's just
Hazers.
that's actually product they're trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Panasonic's was interesting because they had a stunning TV,
Yeah.
which I saw in real life for the first time. It's tandem OLED like Apple's using on the new iPads, but 55-inch, 65-inch sizes, and it is
it looked
fantastic.
amazing. Like
Yeah, I remember
Brightest
when I
OLEDs
was
I've ever seen.
the last time I was at CES. I want to say it was Panasonic. Someone had a new big 100-inch TV. It was like the biggest TV ever made LCD. It was like amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just like it
Now
just
they have-
sounds ludicrous
We have
nowadays.
163.
there's the micro LED stuff, 163 inches.
I remember walking up to it going, "Wow!"
There was a
but this is
couple
like
of
2006, right?
Yeah, there's a couple
Forever
of
ago.
115-inch TVs that looked really good.
They look super nice.
from Hisense and TLC.
the LG transparent.
Yeah, so LG always does something big with their OLEDs. In the past, when we've gone, they've had these OLED caves basically where all the
Yeah.
walls are flexible OLEDs.
That's crazy.
And this time they had a big column in the middle where it was transparent OLEDs that were on pivots that would turn and change and stuff inside the column that you could see through the TVs when the TVs weren't displaying. It was pretty cool.
As far as TV tech goes, though, I think I was most impressed by Panasonic, and it's just nice that they're back in the TV market because they were out of it for so long.
No, they never
In
got
the-
out
in the US, I
Yeah,
mean.
it was only in the US.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's some neat stuff there. What was in the first area? Oh, the automotive. We kind of cruised through the automotive area.
Saw Honda.
It's kinda
Saw
meh.
Hyundai.
There's some really big,
Everything's about AI.
really big John Deere tractors.
That was pretty cool.
Komatsu
Yeah, I saw a
tractors.
picture of the John Deere.
The
booth.
Komatsu
That was
tractors
cool.
were moon tractors.
So yeah, the Komatsu had a model. It was a mock-up, of course, but
yeah,
they're starting to do some R&D stuff for excavators that would work on the moon
right.
for when NASA and SpaceX and
Crazy.
China and everyone actually gets there and starts building the base that's been talked about for years.
I sat there and kind of overheard as the guy was talking to another guy.
Uh-huh.
He's talking about the build of that tractor and how, on the moon, it's not as heavy. It doesn't need to be. So the counterweights in the back don't need to be as heavy either.
Makes
and
sense.
and they have wider tracks. And I'm like, they're actually like
Thinking it through.
thinking of space tractors.
That's
That's so
sweet.
cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. Yeah, I'd say that was kind of a highlight, and we totally stumbled into that.
Yeah,
one.
that was
We're just
cool.
walking around.
That's when CES is the best. Is when you stumble into cool stuff. Like you
Yeah.
just like randomly walk into something cool, and you're like, "What is this?" That's why like the edges and like the smaller to medium-sized companies were always my favorite because that's where those moments would happen the most for me. Those like, "Holy cow, that's cool."
It's pretty cool though too to see the concepts that we saw in 2017 and 2018 become part of the standard
Yeah.
booth displays
Yeah.
this year.
Those spinning
Like the
holograms.
the spinning holograms, which has improved quite a bit. Like before, is basically just a spinning fan with LEDs on it that made it look like it was a floating display. But I only saw like one fan at a time, and if they tried to put fans together, you'd see these see-through spots
Weird
where the
kind
round
of-
fans couldn't overlap.
Yeah.
But they seem to have fixed that. And like they have these round fans spinning together, but there really is no dead spot anymore. So it's like this giant
I think
see-through
they're-
display.
They're putting one behind the other.
Like just
barely.
just
barely,
barely
yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
And it was the holographic
It was interesting to
stuff
see
was way
Jaren's.
cool.
It was interesting to see Jaren's camera that could pick it up in the slower frames. You could actually see the overlay,
The frame rate
and
overlay.
and you could
or
see
because
how
of the
that
frame
they
rate.
were overlapped
Yeah.
to avoid those dead spots.
Yeah.
Another one I see everywhere now are transparent OLEDs, which was a concept 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
And
So,
same
that's cool.
with the last time you guys went to CES, we were like, what is a roll-up display good for? What's a roll-up TV screen? And then today, was it
LG?
LG
that
again.
They had a monitor that goes from flat and then curves to become that 30-inch or that
900R,
R,
1800R.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Now this isn't the first time they've done that, but this is by far a better version of
oh
what
yeah,
they
it
did the
seems
first
super
time.
smooth.
And it was like 39 inches, and it would just go flat, and then it would slowly come into a really strong curve.
Yeah,
and then go back flat again if you want it. Like and it looked gorgeous, like real good. So yeah, there was just. I mean, I think I've forgotten more than than I can remember.
Yeah. Flying cars are still trying to be a thing.
Yeah.
We saw them at CES 5 or 6 years ago, and we really haven't heard much there. But they're still trying to hawk them over here.
yeah. I was really
course.
hoping to see the actual wing car, the one that's like the vertical panels or whatever that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But it was more just drone
Yeah, like
personal
drones,
drone,
yeah.
personal drone tech.
we saw iJustine filming in one of them, and
So much.
the cameraman was filming her, but his head went up where the propellers were.
Yeah.
So if this thing were actually on, it would literally scalp taller people.
You would have
Yeah.
to. I would have to really duck.
And there's no
to get
guard.
in
Like
there.
it's
Yeah.
it's
No,
like
there's no guard.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was interesting. We saw iJustine in 3 different locations at
Yeah.
3 different times.
That's
and then
bonkers.
we
Such a big
saw
place.
we saw like 5. I want to say 5 different LTT employees
Yeah.
running around that we recognized from their videos. We saw Plouffe and Jake and a couple of the other folks. Didn't say hi to them, of course.
We're not creepy,
Yeah, we just
mostly.
stare at them as they walk by.
Yeah.
I did
That's
stand
all.
up in the NVIDIA keynote and go walk around looking for
We tried to find
Alex.
someone from Digital Foundry, Alex or Oliver Mackenzie and Alex Battaglia, and couldn't find them.
yeah.
But-
Jaren dared me to do it, so I did it. But I didn't find anybody.
I said, Owen, bring them back hogtied over your shoulder, and you'll get a treat.
I didn't get a treat.
No treat.
No treat.
No. Segway booth was kind of fun. Just wanted to mention a scooter I saw there.
Yeah.
Scoot.
It goes 86 miles range, and
Good.
this is where the interesting part comes. 50 miles per hour max speed
That's really
Holy
good.
cricket.
The-
That's so dangerous.
for a kick scooter, not a scooter you sit down on. A kick scooter.
I'm gonna
giant
hold on.
razor.
Stop right there, Jaron. So I have a boosted scooter. That thing goes 26 miles an hour.
Yeah, this does.
That
50.
is
Doesn't 26 make
that
you
is
feel
car-like
like you're flying?
speeds on a scooter, and it is scary as crap because first of all, no car expects you to be going that fast.
Yeah.
And then second off, when you go that fast, you're going like, if
Does
I
it
crash
feel
right
with
now,
those
I'm
wheels?
dying.
Uh-huh.
And
I
does
can't
it feel
imagine
like
going
wheels?
You're gonna
faster.
get the speed wobbles for
Yeah,
sure.
you speed like you hit a pebble. Oh yeah.
The best part, Lando, it goes 0 to 30 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds
So it can
On
flip
a
out backwards.
freaking scooter?
On a scooter.
on a scooter.
7,000 watt motor.
Jiminy
That's
cricket.
insane.
Like you pull the handle and you just fly like Superman behind it. It
Seriously.
just drags
You have to
out
lean
behind
forward
it.
to keep your weight where it needs to be, so you don't fly back.
Segway also showed off. They're getting into the e-bike game, and actually, I was pretty impressed by what they had there. They had a fat tire bike, which is what I would need as a large man, and it had. I'm trying to remember.
Regenerative braking.
Yeah, it had regenerative braking. I want to say like 50 miles of range, and a 750 watt motor.
The regenerative braking is new. I haven't seen that in a bike before.
There's hardly. I've never seen it in a bike either.
And so it's cool. Very
All of
cool.
that for front suspension, all of that kind of stuff. She said it was $2,300, which for an e-bike with those kind of specs and everything, that's not bad at all. Like I paid $2,000 for mine a couple years ago, and that's a Venton, so not as recognizable as a brand as Segway. They also had a dirt bike, an electric dirt bike, and they had an electric bike. I'm using air quotes here. Looked just like a dirt bike, but it had pedals, so they could still call it a bicycle and not have it be a motorized vehicle or whatever. But yeah, that was pretty neat. What else did we see? Yeah, the John Deere tractor that we saw. We posted a couple of pictures of that in the
Looks like a tank.
in our Discord. Yeah, it's 4 huge treads instead of tires.
Yeah.
Have you
And
not
they're-
seen tractors like that before?
I don't think I have. No.
Not
Yeah.
taller than me.
For those
Yeah,
of us
each
who
like-
watch farming YouTube,
Yeah.
they're
Well,
normal-ish
farm talk.
nowadays.
Okay. I wanted to go ask someone in the booth about the John Deere stance on the right to repair, but I didn't want to pick a fight, so I decided not to.
I
You know
think
exactly what their stance is.
Yeah.
my favorite thing that we saw today was the laser pecker.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so at the end we were gonna go, and Jaron started crying about going and seeing the
Oh snap!
snap over at the Shen. Go on, help me out. Shenzhen.
Basically, like all the Chinese, all
It's
the
a
smaller.
whole other. It's a little.
It's
whole
not
other
just
area.
Chinese stuff though. Like
No,
That's
but
my
it's
favorite
there,
area,
yeah.
Owen.
Those are
What?
that's a Chinese brand.
Yeah.
All of those
And it-
brands are Chinese brands,
Not OSnap.
except for OSnap.
There's other brands.
Why'd
that
they
do
get
it.
relegated over there?
I think it's just cheaper in that
Oh,
area.
okay. Well, let me just tell you, I don't I get that they're trying to sell stuff over here, so they're taking two English words and mashing them together. But there's like almost zero context in just the name of all the
Most
stuff.
of those names,
and one
yeah.
of those
Well,
happened to be
Laser Pecker.
Laser
Laser
Pecker.
Pecker.
But it brought us. It was like
What?
a beacon for
worked.
people like us.
Okay.
And we're
checked
like,
it out.
We got to
And
check
I-
out the Laser Pecker.
And I have a question for Landon, since he wasn't here, and all he has for context is the title, Laser Pecker. What do you think that company does?
I think it's a
Based
drill
off
with
the
a
name.
laser on it.
It uses a laser. Okay.
I think it's a drill with or either a hammer or a drill with a laser
No.
on it.
You're not too far off.
It uses a laser, but it's basically a printer, a laser
Laser
burner,
etching.
a laser etching
Oh.
that can burn into light surfaces, easy, like very fragile surfaces, but it also can do deep engraving into like tile and stuff, and actually pull out.
that pecker goes deep.
It's a solid.
Uh-oh.
It's
Warning,
standard,
Will
but-
Robinson, danger zone.
Anyway, that was my takeaway from that entire area was just I have no idea what these devices are based on the
Based
name.
on the name, yeah.
And
there's
so you
very
have to come
few.
up and look at them and be like, oh, it's that. But there's nothing that tells them apart in
And
that
here's
way.
here's the thing, Owen. There is so much garbage in that area, but within that area, there's probably like 3 or 4 booths. You'd be like, "This is the coolest stuff I've seen all day."
That's what I was hoping for, and I was really hoping we get some free stuff. Like my whole goal.
We
here-
did. We did get some free
My
stuff.
my whole goal for this whole thing was just to get free stuff.
Do you have a bag full of crap yet?
We have a MagSafe speaker that like hook magnets on the back
Yeah,
of
it
your
has a
phone.
MagSafe magnet.
I got an Snap charger thing. Stick on.
No, a handle. Oh, snap handle.
Oh yeah, but it's also a Qi charger, right?
No.
No.
Oh,
No.
But that's what he was trying to do.
No, he wanted to see if it would charge through
Oh, I see.
because it
Oh,
acts
it's just
as,
the
it
I see.
acts
It's
as
just the magnet. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
So
What else?
no, that area was like 70% charging and battery
Yeah.
stuff.
So
Oh,
many
totally.
battery packs.
So many batteries coming out of China too.
Suddenly,
That's-
BS stories.
I do want to talk about OSNAP a little bit though, and this was a pre-CES story, and I got to see the unit at CES. It's called the MCON controller. Now, this is a controller that you attach via MagSafe or Qi 2, or you can just put on like a magnet on the back of your phone. And rather than it being the typical switch-style controller for your phone, like a backbone, the controller is kind of like you know the old Sony PlayStation phone that came out like a decade ago?
Yeah.
You slide it up and the joysticks and buttons are under there. This is kind of that. You attach it to via MagSafe, you push 2 buttons on the back, and it'll spring up your phone, and underneath it, it'll have joysticks, all your normal controller buttons that connects via Bluetooth. Super interesting product. It's on Kickstarter right now, and the problem it solves is that most controllers for your phone, actually all controllers for your phone, they're not pocketable. You can't just stick a giant. Oh, Tony's sharing the screen right now. You can't stick a giant Nintendo Switch style controller into your pocket. Whereas
Yeah.
this, it folds up nicely and it pretty much it attaches to the back of your phone. You can put the whole thing in your pocket.
It's pretty impressive. We got to play with the prototype.
Did you like how it felt? You have smaller hands, so did you feel like it was made for you? Because I looked at that and was like,
I would say it's
couldn't
definitely
play-
made for smaller
I
hands.
couldn't play on that.
But
Like, I feel
don't
like
think
I'm-
we'd have a problem.
I don't know.
You'd get used to it. It's got fold-out grips.
Yeah, extenders to help with your palms.
Yeah.
Palm rests
That's
there.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a prototype, so it had rough edges, but I think the overall concept is pretty solid, and I hope they deliver. OSNAP has done many Kickstarters in the past and has been fine, so we'll see. Your mileage may vary.
Yep. I mean, I've used a no-snap thing on the back of my phone forever.
Yeah, you're so funny, Tony.
It's been.
I'm
good.
laughing so hard right now.
What are you talking about? This is an O-snap handle.
Yeah, he ordered
This
it
is
before.
the original This
Yeah.
is one of the
Yeah.
original products.
But
See,
I've been impressed because you have the OSNAP connector in your car.
Yeah.
And it just click and it holds it on. And
it's a
I've
strong
worked,
magnet.
I've worked with my wife is a phone holder kind of kind of like you are at earbuds. She sees one and she's like,
I want to try
I'm
that
gonna
out.
try that one. And
Yeah.
we've had a lot of failures to the point where I'm like, could you stop buying these ones from Timu? Like, they're not good. They're all the same thing.
Don't
They're
buy
crappy.
Timu. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So she's definitely a Timu shopper. Wished before that.
Oh, Wish was worse than Timu.
It
even.
was. So, but this one works really well. I've been surprised because as we've been driving around, and Tony's a horrible driver, and all over the bumps. Ask Jaron. I think he's a wonderful driver, but Jaron would say he's a horrible driver. But the magnet hasn't dropped off or kicked your phone off. And
Hey, I didn't say any such words.
I know. I just wanted to make you my. Moving on.
Moving along.
Well, what else? Anything else? Are we wrapping it up? What's going on, Tony?
No, I did want to mention we did get to see a couple of EV prototypes from Honda. They have a Saloon. They're calling it the Saloon. It's a four-door sedan.
That's a bad name.
It is not a very good name, and it looks like someone put a four doors on a Lamborghini.
So
and
from the front,
Ugh.
you bought
a
yourself
concept,
a
right?
Lamborghini, and it's kind of
It's
like
a
a
concept,
mullet,
yeah.
right? Like
yeah, the
a
front.
reverse mullet. Party up front,
It's as ugly as a mullet too.
minivan in the back.
Yeah,
Like the back
Ugh.
is hideous, so bad.
and it looks
like-
like he took a Lamborghini and just smoothed all the edges out.
Yeah.
so it's all just kind of
Like I saw it from the side first time. Like that is a hideous car, and then I swung around and saw it just straight from the front. Like, oh, that actually looks nice.
Yeah. It's almost like they weren't done. They're like, send it. Like,
Yeah.
like we don't know what you're going to do with the tail lights, but look, that's space in the back anyway. He's like, but the side panels for the back look like a square delivery van. Send it. We're just going to have to. It's a
ship it.
Put it
prototype.
out there.
Nobody cares.
it.
We have a pass. I think the big companies feel that way more. Like they want to release stuff on their own timeline. And so CES is almost arbitrary to them now. That's why their booths are kind of like, meh. And then they'll do their own release schedule later or during whatever other consumer electronics shows they do. But the little guys and the medium guys have to try harder. This is their
Yeah.
shot, right? So
Yeah.
their people are more excited. They're I mean, except for NVIDIA, that was a fantastic keynote.
Yeah.
I was talking to so another thing NVIDIA did was all their partners, they sent people on a quest. So all their partners, they gave a QR code that we could wander around CES and go take a QR code. So if you follow me on Facebook, you can see me totally shilling for all these other random companies that you would have never suspected I liked or knew about. And that's mainly because you get points, and Jensen's giving away, I think, top prize is a signed 4090 or something, or it's a signed graphics card.
4080.
4080.
Something like that.
He's giving away a signed 4080 and a bunch of other swag if you collect these points. But I ended up when you guys went to Segway, and I headed off to go get some of those QRs because I could share the link with you, and we could just fill it out together. And I ended up talking. You remember that guy, the NVIDIA guy from the keynote that was talking to people over to us
Next to us, yeah.
he was there, and
Oh.
I ran into him. We started talking, and he was talking about that Toyota chip. So the Toyota partnership that they announced at the NVIDIA keynote was a surprise to everybody.
Oh.
That was pretty much a secret, and that chip that they're using, Thor,
Yeah.
and their partnership with Toyota was pretty much a secret announcement. Same with that other project, the Digits, right? That
Oh, yeah.
Digits thing was really cool.
Yeah, NVIDIA also announced this thing called Digits, and it looks about the size of a
Like a NUC.
Mac Mini.
Yeah, or Mac Mini.
Looks like the size of a Mac Mini, and it will run the complete NVIDIA AI stack on that box.
The low price.
$3,000.
$3,000. And he was like, you can have one there, and then he's like, or just stack two. And we're like,
$6
oh my
grand.
God, $6,000 right there. This guy's out.
But-
of touch
Oh,
with-
and I'm sorry to tell you, but everything you didn't actually update the app. Like
know.
our points are still
At one?
at 1.
I know.
Jeez.
Oh, I know.
So you shield for nothing.
I know. I was
You
gonna go
shield for
cry myself.
nothing.
It did. None of my points are uploaded. However, I went back to redo it because I'm like, I want my points. I want free stuff, and it would tell me, no, you've already completed this mission.
Ah.
They're called missions.
Weird.
And I tried to resubmit because I'm like, it's not updating, and then it said, no, you've already completed this.
Maybe it'll update
So
it
I think
at
it's because of
midnight or
I
something.
think it's because of load. I think that they're
No way.
processing a lot.
Come on now.
They have to. Why? How else? If they're
It's really hard to process, just a couple numbers.
Yeah, exactly. It's not load,
It's
dude.
load,
I
yeah.
guarantee.
dude, there's hundreds of there's thousands of people submitting.
I think you mean dozens.
There's dozens of people.
There's no one crazy enough to do
There's
everything you did
I
today.
am submitting
I
so
said-
many times.
I told Owen, hey, Owen, at the Nikon booth, they're giving away free pins. And so
What did I do?
He goes and looks at the pins, and Tony and I are waiting for 15 to 20
Come here,
minutes.
get closer. Let me tell you
And
something.
I'm like, where the crap
do
did
you know
Owen
what
go?
I'll do? Do you know what I'll do for something free? Just about anything.
Anything?
Anything.
Anything.
I will do anything. And so Jaron told me to go get a pin, and I have to do what Jaron tells me. So I went and got a pin.
It took him 20 minutes to get a pin.
It didn't take me 20 minutes. They're a stupid thing. They made me go here and take a picture.
You know, I
and
still
this.
haven't
And
seen
then I
this
went-
pin. Does it actually exist?
Yeah, it exists, man. Jaron saw it. It's It's their very first logo of Nikon
Ah.
from 1917. I chose the antique one.
Oh.
You just go up to the counter, swipe it. You don't have to.
They were taped down.
They were not.
They were, and she was mean. People came up and they trying to, and she's like, no. You have to go do all the things. And they had a board that said, you have to go here. And they had some gentleman, 1, 2, 3. He's like, you have to go here and take a picture. You have to go here and take a picture. You have to go here and take a picture. And then when you do that, which I had to go through the line twice because I missed one, they make you scan a QR and take a quiz.
No wonder it took so long.
And I'm horrible at tests. So that took a minute. And then I got to roll a little ball like you do for what's the game? Bingo, right? How they roll the balls
in the cage.
ING.
yeah, in the cage, and I got the pin, and it's a special pin, and you guys didn't get it. You guys missed out. We just stayed around for 20 minutes. You could have come and got a pin.
I didn't want a pin.
Yes, you did. You
No.
want my
Yeah,
pin?
you do. You don't
Yeah, I
have
do.
the pin.
He
Owen
wants
has a
my
pin that
pin.
Jared
Why
doesn't
is he-
have. That pisses
Yeah.
you off, Jared, I'm sure.
And I'm gonna put on my hat from the weird bike place that we got that Tony didn't get. So suck it.
I got socks.
You got socks.
I
That's
got
true.
stickers.
And then Jaron
I
tried
want
to make
socks.
me take the stickers, and I didn't want them, so I gave them back. And then
Are you going to bring crap back for me, Owen? I want some free
yeah,
stuff.
I've got a whole bunch of business cards.
I got some stickers for you.
I'll take some stickers. I don't want business cards. What about socks? Can I have the socks?
I've been thinking about you a lot, Lennon. I'm giving you business cards,
we
so
had-
don't be rude.
We had a nice conversation with some people from Alltech Lansing,
It's a gift.
and they showed me all
They took
their,
Tony for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was long. I didn't think it was going to go that long. They showed me all their products,
I'm
all
gonna
their
email them because they said
all their
they'd get
sound
us-
products. Oh
they-
yeah,
they said they.
Does
they said
your
they'd
do
give
your
us some
badges
review
say
units.
yeah.
press?
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Oh, I
are the
don't
good
have
badges.
Media.
It says media.
But the sad part was the guy they had explaining everything couldn't answer any of my questions, and they were just questions like, "What version of Bluetooth does this use?" Five, I think.
6.3?
Yeah, probably 5. Not lying. Probably 5.
Probably 5.
And then so we're going along, and I ask, okay, what do you know? What audio chipset that uses like for the wireless connection? Is it a Qualcomm chip or what? I don't know.
You know why? Because he was taller than you, and tall people just coast him in life.
Yeah, we
Some
do.
of us do, indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, every question I had for him, he was like, it was either I'm not sure, or I'd like feed him a possible answer. He's like, yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah. But I just like that he was like, and here's a speaker, and then
Yeah.
went down, and
here's a
is
speaker.
Another speaker.
Here's a speaker.
This is a pink speaker.
Yep.
And the speaker. When we got to the end, the last one he showed you was cool because it's environmentally proofed, like sand,
yeah,
water.
a bunch of those they're sandproof, dustproof,
shockproof.
waterproof. They float.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I mean. Like they had some neat products, and
Yeah.
I'd like to review some of them. But this poor guy that they had trying to sell it was not doing a good job.
Yeah. It was rough.
Might have been his first
Not
day.
a lot of people.
I don't know.
Not a lot of people were stopping because.
Because it's Altec Lansing. Who cares about
But he
them?
looked at
like
Tony.
Altec
He
Lansing.
looked at Tony. He looked at Tony and brought him over to the kids' headphone first, and he's like, "These are our top line of kid headphones. They've got GPS tracking in them, and you can control." They had to
No, find me, not GPS.
Find me. That's
Yeah.
right. Find me. So you can keep track.
They
of
only
what
go
they're
a
doing.
certain level of
And you can-
loudness.
yeah, and I'm
you know.
like-
And so that's the thing. He knew about those headphones.
Yeah, he knew about the product. Just
answered
none
my-
of the details underneath.
He answered my questions about those. But
Yeah.
anyway,
And this stream of consciousness that this podcast is today, it's exactly how CES is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like a fire hose.
yeah. Oh, I was gonna also say concept cars. We did get to take a peek. Well, at least I did because I'm tall enough. See the Sony concept or the Sony.
I
It's not a
saw that,
concept car.
yeah.
The Sony is putting out a car with Honda, and so I got some pictures holding my camera up over the crowd that was there, and it's a pretty good looking car. I'd like to know some more specs on it and whatnot, of course, but we'll have to do some research and see where that's going.
You know
we
what else
did
I
we
like?
did
The
get some
pod.
pricing on it though. It starts at 90,000 and goes up to 110. So
I want that then because it seems legit. Like I'd be like driving a Cadillac.
it
How
looks
cool it
nice.
used to be if you had a Cadillac, remember how cool that was?
Yeah, I wish it was taller, but
Yeah, me too.
it's a sedan, so it's kind
I
of.
wish I was taller.
But yeah, that was neat. That had a huge crowd.
I like the Zeo pods we sat in.
Oh yeah,
Mainly
those were
because we
kinda
got to sit down for a minute. But it was also very
What's a
immersive.
Zeopod?
Remember that Zeopod is like those half shell chairs that are
They're
very
like
popular.
half an egg.
Yeah, the egg chairs that are very popular with startup culture.
Yeah,
They did that, but they put haptics and good sound inside and lights
it had 22 speakers
Yeah.
built into it
and
and a rumble motors.
and a rumble, and it was quite comfortable.
It was
actually.
it was actually comfortable.
Yeah.
So they had Space Warhammer Space Marine 2
Yeah.
going, and you could lean back and play, and you pull the trigger, and you could feel it in the pod. Brr, brr,
Yeah.
brr, as the gun was going off and everything.
It was pretty cool. If
I
you had
kinda liked it.
if you had a dedicated game room
Yeah,
and we're
wanted to-
playing that, I think that'd be fun.
yeah.
Maybe not all the time. If for maybe not for all games. It seems like it may be better for louder,
I think it'd
rumblier
work
games.
for. I think
but,
it'd work for anything.
but it was very immersive.
But
And,
yeah,
and I it's notable because I got to sit down for about 3.5 minutes before I totally got destroyed by the aliens. But because we'd been walking for a while.
Oh
Not gonna
man,
lie,
we walked so much today.
I got my steps in plus them. I don't have to walk anymore I don't think for the next 2 years.
I think you're caught
No,
up.
that's
yeah.
if you want to know something about CES, you will be walking and
Oh, yeah.
walking and walking some more. Like that is, I remember like just how much my feet hurt after CES. Just like every night you go home, you sit down, and you go, I don't think I can stand up again, like ever. This hurts so bad.
Luckily, and
Accurate.
Jaron wisely knew this, and so he made sure he bullied Tony into getting the Airbnb out here that has a massage chair.
Massage chair.
Does it have a
That
part
does-
to massage your feet too?
Yeah,
Mm,
it
yeah.
does.
That's the only
Yeah.
part I'd care about. I mean, your
Yep.
back and stuff probably matter too, but my feet, just rub the crap out of my feet, please.
I would if you were here.
Jaron did offer to rub my
Jaron,
feet too.
Yeah.
Hey, Jaron, to be
Are you a
fair,
foot
offered to
guy?
do like a triangle of feet massaging.
Yeah, like I rub Owen, Owen rubs Tony, and Tony rubs me.
Do you have a foot fetish?
I feel like that was really weird, and I said no.
All I did was visualize.
Tony, it's
how
time to
that would
end.
work.
It's time to be done, Tony.
I
Rein
didn't
us in,
like-
buddy.
We're getting weird.
Yeah, I didn't like
Things
the
are getting
visualization.
weird.
I didn't
May-
like
maybe
the
that-
visualization of
Maybe
it.
the cousin on cousin action shouldn't happen. So
Do I have to be a
I rub-
sandwich?
I rub Owen, Owen rubs Tony,
This is getting so much worse.
and Owen rubs me.
Let's stop talking about rubbing each other. Please, Tony,
I-
rein us in. Take us out of
Yeah,
here.
Tony,
Get
I
us
feel
out.
uncomfortable.
I don't know what to do.
I think he likes the idea, and I think we should do it.
I don't know.
All
that
right.
I want to be,
So, thank you
I'm
to our
gonna be
Patreon
Jaron, so-
sponsors.
I think I'm gonna have to pass, fellas.
It's time to do some Patreon stuff.
All right. Is
Tony?
there anything else you wanted to hit, Jaron? Owen?
We're gonna have a lot more to say next week because we're doing the Venetian, and that's where like all the PC vendors are, and I'm
Yeah,
super excited about
Very
that.
excited. Yeah.
As well as all of the news that happened. Like Steam Deck stuff happened. A lot of Z2 Extreme chip happened with new handhelds coming. So a lot of interesting stuff to talk about.
Yep. That'll be next week here on Geek Show Arcade and Geek Show Helpdesk. So before we go, though, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers. Thank you so much, Patreon. You guys are the reason we were able to come down to CES in Las Vegas and see everything that we could and report it back. So we really appreciate you. And if you donate $6 or more, you get a shout out on the air. But we're going to have Lando explain what Patreon benefits
I'm
are.
going to be
in
quick. I'm the
general.
Patreon pip, and I'm going to be quick. First off, you pay $1, just one measly dollar. That's it. You get all kinds of cool benefits. First off, you get the whole Enchilada show through the Patreon-only subscriber feed early, ad-free, with the in-between show. First off, that alone, worth it. If that was the only benefit for $1, I'd be like, yeah, why aren't you spending $1? But wait, there's more. You could also get access to our super secret Patreon Discord channel. Tony, Owen, and Jared have been posting all kinds of really good stuff in that channel for our Patreon subscribers only. Thank you, Patreon subs. And then if you give us $6 or more, you can make Jaren say whatever you want. It's the best.
You have that, Jaron?
I do. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Look at that.
Huge shout out and thank you to David Broshinsky, Interrupting Cow, Aaron Faulkner, Connor Keesaw, and Steam Cell, but my backlog. Thank you guys.
Accurate.
You're
Thank you so much.
You're the best. Thank you. Thank you to Engage the Core, Jason Eatman. Download MSI Autoburner today.
Don't do it.
I like you. Hi. Be the 8-year-old. Kyle. Lando's the Patreon pimp.
Yeah, I am.
What's his face? Tony the Excel and Power Apps nerd. Travis Johnson. Buy Geekshow Arcade Helpdesk stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. Jeremy. No name, no color. Kesslo. Eric Steinman. Eric Cruz. The in-between rating plus 30.
Dang.
Too bad we're not having one today. That's too bad.
It's going to ruin our ratings, what it's going to do.
I know. You know how I always dread the whole year? Well, in 2025, I'm only going to dread one day at a time.
Smart.
I like that. DP, Lambo leaps lovingly while longing for letters from Lang. Wesley, Adam, Stuart Lloyd, everyone has an uncle. No, excuse. Well, that's weird. But only the guilty use it. And finally, so-and-so.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate you, Patreon backers. That is the end of our live from CES Las Vegas, Nevada episode.
Like stream of consciousness for sure.
It really was. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm freaking beat.
Yep.
I'm going to go clean up and fall into bed. So until the next episode, Lando, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care. Be an end
Whoa.
user.
What?
Wow.
My brain just...
Ooh, I love it actually.